Good afternoon. This is the news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Onireke, Ibadan. I am Bilkis ISHOLA TAIWO. First, the top stories. Falana accuses Malami of being behind Buhari's refusal to obey court orders. World's oldest rhino foster dies in Tanzania, aged 57. Russia's President Vladimir Putin thanks Trump for intelligence which folds acts of terrorism. And in sports, reigning Nigeria League champions Enyimba end 2019 on losing notes. Details of the news to come shortly. A frontline human rights lawyer, Femi Falana, has tackled the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, for the federal government's disregard to court orders and rule of law. Falana said if Buhari could listen to the advice of the then Attorney General of the Federation, the late Chike Ofodile, he would not have disagreed with Malami. The human rights lawyer also pointed out that only the president and the state governors have rights of prerogative of mercy, adding that the AGF had no constitutional right to release any detained person on compassionate grounds. Falana said this in a statement in reaction to comments made by Malami through his spokesman, Mr. Umar Gwandu, while explaining that the federal government released Omolele Sowore and Sambo Dasuki from custody on compassionate grounds. The Kano state government has concluded arrangements to begin the payment of 30,000 naira minimum wage at the end of a meeting held between the state government and the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council in Kano. It was agreed that Kano state should commence the payment from this month. The letter conveying the message that government has agreed to commence the payment of the new minimum wage said it will be effective from December 2019, while arrears of April to November 2019 will be settled on installments. The Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mohammed Nami, has warned that the agency may put a lien on bank accounts of the faulting taxpayers. In a statement which he personally signed and released, Nami also offered a 30-day window to enable taxpayers obtain tax clearance certificates, TCC. Nami said the notice was issued to assist taxpayers to meet their obligations as they meet needs. He warned that the FIRS will not fail to invoke the provisions of the law, including enforcement and imposition of lien should it be apparent that a taxpayer has misled the FIRS to issue a TCC. The management of the Lagos State University LASU has confirmed the mother of a final year student of the institution, Favour Oladele. LASU's Vice Chancellor, Professor Olanriwaji Fagbun, urged the students to remain calm and allow the law enforcement agents to conclude their investigations into the matter. Fagbun gave the assurance that the case would be monitored to ensure that justice is done. A rhino thought to be the oldest in the world has died in Tanzania at the age of 57. Foster, an eastern black rhino, was first sighted in the Ngorongoro crater in 1965 when she was 3. She roamed the crater freely for more than 54 years, but health issues in her old age required her to spend her final few years receiving specialist care in a sanctuary. Foster never had cave, something conservatives in Ngorongoro suggests may have contributed to a long life. South African Police Service SAPS officers in Gauteng have arrested Africa Nkuna, the mother suspect who escaped from the High Court in Johannesburg earlier this month. Masondo and Nkuna was among the 850 people arrested for various crimes across Gauteng this weekend in the ongoing safer festive season operations. Nkuna was one of the 5 prisoners who launched a daring escape attempt in the High Court on the 9th of December while appearing on different cases. Three of Nkuna's accomplices were rearrested before they could exit the court building, and one was shot dead. However, Nkuna managed to flee, but law enforcement agencies have been on his heels. Though crime intelligence, the police from the Kajisco Crime Prevention Unit and detective intercepted the Nissan Impendulo minibus that the escape and his friends were traveling in around Kajisco, and he was arrested. Charges of escaping from lawful custody and attempted murder will be added to the charge of murder Nkuna is currently facing. French President Emmanuel Macron will address 25-day strike and widespread protest in New Year's speech. Emmanuel Macron will be forced to speak out on France's ongoing pension strike in his televised New Year address, as transport stoppages look likely to continue into a 5th week, causing major disruption over the holiday period and into January. The centrist French president, who made overhauling the country's pension system a key election pledge, has until now refrained from intervening personally, leaving his Prime Minister, Édouard Philippe, to deal with the day-to-day response to the crisis. Macron is unlikely, however, to enter into the complex technical details of the pension changes in his New Year address. Instead, arguing that after overhauling labor rules and the unemployment benefits systems, changes to pensions are vital to his plans to deliver what he has called the biggest transformation of the French social model and welfare system since the Second World War. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has thanked United States counterpart Donald Trump for intelligence that helped foil acts of terrorism on Russian soil. The Kremlin said the information came via intelligence service, but it provided no further details. It was reported that the discovery of a plot to attack St. Petersburg over the New Year's period. The report said Russian nationals have been arrested and plans to attack a mass gathering were seized. According to a spokesperson from the FSB, the Russian intelligence agency, Putin and Trump have spoken on the phone and in person various times since the latter took office. A British woman has been found guilty of lying about being gang raped in Anya Napa, Cyprus by Israeli youth. She had been arrested after she withdrew an allegation that she was attacked by 12 young Israelis in July. The woman, who was 19 at the time, had said Cypriot police made her falsely confess to lying about the incident, but the police denied this claim. She was found guilty on a charge of causing public mischief at a court in Paralimni. Prosecutors said she willingly wrote and signed a statement retracting her initial claims. The woman had said this happened under duress with the threat of arrest and that she had been denied access to a lawyer. 12 Israelis were arrested in connection with the allegations, but were later released and returned home. North Korea's leader has called for positive and offensive measures to ensure the country's sovereignty and security. Kim Jong-un was speaking at a multi-day gathering of party leaders in Pyongyang, usually for this time of the year. The comments come amid concerns that the North could end negotiations on denuclearization with the United States and restart major weapons testing. The United States has said it will be extraordinarily disappointed by that. Pyongyang threatened earlier this year to take a new way if Washington failed to offer concessions in the nuclear talks by the end of the year. A scientist in China who said he had created the world's first Jenny-edited babies have been jailed for 3 years. Hee Jiang-yoon was convicted of violating a government ban by carrying out his own experiments on human embryos to try to give them protection against HIV. He was globally condemned when he announced his experiments and the birth of twins babies last November. Xinhua News Agency said a third baby was also born at the same time, which had not previously been confirmed. As well as the prison sentence, he was fined 3 million yuan. The court also handed lower sentences to 2 men, Yan Brenly and Qin Jingho, for conspiring with E to carry out the experiments. This is Pensioners 106.7 FM. We'll be back with some entertainment and sports stories. Please stay tuned. You're welcome back, and now to the entertainment scene. Renowned Scottish author and artist Aladisri Gray has died. His publisher confirmed. The 85-year-old was known for novels such as Lanark and the award-winning Poor Things, which are both set in Glasgow where he was born. His public murals are visible across the city, with further pieces on display in the V&A and the Scottish National Gallery of Modern Art. He died at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. His family said he wanted to leave his body to science, so there will be no funeral. Now to the world of sport. Reigning Nigerian League champions Enyimba ended the year 2019 on losing notes as they were defeated 1-0 by Algerian side Parado in their CAF Confederation Cup group stage tie. Abdulkadir Gorab was the hero for the North African club as he fired in the decisive goal on the 64th minute after slotting past Mwabali. No thanks to a poor first touch from Abiodun Adebayo. The goal was the Parado's first goal in the group phase, having conceded 2 goals in their last 2 outings. Two-time African champions Enyimba, who are now third in Group D, with 3 points, will host the Algerians in the return leg at Abbas Enyimba International Stadium on the 12th of January. Another Nigerian team, Enugu Rangers, were also in action. The People's Elephant, who have been far from impressive this season, managed to force their opponents FC Nwadibo to a barren draw after losing their first 2 games in the group stage. No Nigerian team has ever won the CAF Confederation Cup, and the performance of the 2 teams does not inspire confidence that the jinx will be broken this season. To end the news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM, here is a recap of the main stories. Femi Falana has tackled the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, for the federal government's disregard to court orders and rule of law. Rhino, thought to be the oldest in the world, has died in Tanzania at the age of 57. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has thanked United States counterpart Donald Trump for intelligence that helped foil acts of terrorism on Russian soil. And in the world of sport was brought to you that reigning Nigerian League champions Enyimba ended the year 2019 losing as they were defeated 1-0 by Algeria in CAF Confederation Cup. For any information, contact us on these mobile numbers: 0812 0086 270 and 0812 1889 462. You can also visit us at the Oyo State Pensioners House, Agbarigo, Nireke, Ibadan. The news editor is Yetunde Oke, assisted by Michael Adeyemo. On behalf of the production crew, My name is Bilkis ISHOLA TAIWO. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.